cool being fluffy, though. My ex-girlfriend, she was cool. She was fluffy, too. She was, man. I used to call her up in the middle of the night, and all my friends would always tell us how romantic we were. I'd call her up, no big deal, right? Old school, huh? Pick up the phone.
Hello.
Hey. What are you doing?
Oh, nothing. I'm just here.
Ooh. Where?
In the kitchen.
Oh, really? Oh, what are you doing in the kitchen?
Oh, nothing. I'm just baking.
Oh, really? Oh my God, what are you baking?
Oh, nothing. Just a chocolate cake.
Oh, really? Oh, baby, say it slow. Say it slow.
Chocolate cake.
Ay, Dios mío. Oh, baby. I can't take it anymore. I'm gonna come. You're gonna come. I'm gonna come over and eat your cake. I miss her. Cake, man.
So moving forward, it's been over a year now, and the same question has been asked over and over again. So what now? Are you gonna, start over? You're gonna get back up on that horse? You're gonna get a girlfriend? You're gonna get a wife? Start a new family? What are you gonna do? And I'm like, I got dogs. I'm good right now. I know what it's like to be single for a long time, and I know what it's like to be in a relationship for a long time. And there's pros and cons to both. I can only speak for the guys on this one. Some guys. Guys, you ever been single so long you start to question whether or not it's by choice? And then you find yourself saying things like, guess I'll be single forever, just nobody wants me. Nobody wants me. Nobody wants me. Some of you are laughing because you have that friend. A lot of you are quiet because that's you right now. And then you notice how sometimes all it takes are just a couple of minor changes, a couple of minor adjustments to get back in the game. Like maybe you start cutting your hair different. Maybe you start dressing better. Maybe you start, showering and shit. Someone takes notice and decides to give you a chance, and now you're back in the game. And there's no greater feeling in the world than that of being in a brand new relationship, because you're just so happy. You're so happy. You're the most optimistic person in the world. Nothing can mess your day up when it's brand new. You can miss your bus on the way to work. There'll be another. You could get fired. Guess it wasn't meant to be. You are so freaking happy. And then you start to reflect on your life before the relationship. And you remember how you would look at your phone and it would never ring. You thought it was broken because it wouldn't ring. There's no text messages. You look at your DMs, nothing. But the minute you get into a brand new relationship, like magic, your phone, text message, ding, your social media, now you got numbers in there. People in the street are talking to you. And then you say this out loud. Where were all these people at when I was single? Answer? They were there the whole time. The difference is you were not this happy. I found out that happiness is one of the most attractive things in the world. Who doesn't want to be around someone who's positive? Well, unless you got COVID. Never mind. Nice, pleasant, a joy to be around. Good energy. You know who really notices just how happy you are, guys, when it's a brand new relationship? Other women. Not your woman, other women. They can't help but notice how happy you are. They stare at you and they point. Look at him. Look how happy he is. Oh, I bet I can change that. Guys, you are now blood in the water and the sharks are out. And if you've never been hunted before, it is one of the scariest things in the world. Because usually you don't know you're being hunted until it's too late. You're over there minding your business, you're in your relationship, you're trying to make it work, and here they come. Before you know it, it's too late. She's got a hold of you, and she has you pinned down in the back seat of a car. And she's hitting you. She's hitting you with a baby shark doo 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 doo, baby shark doo 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 doo, baby shark doo 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 doo, baby shark. You will never look at that song the same way again. You're welcome.
Houston, I'm going to tell you something, and I don't know how this is going to go over, but I'm going to say it. I would be an amazing gay partner. I would, all the way up until that one part, but even then. Have you ever driven a Lexus? Those are nice. Sometimes you got to take one for your own team. I'm just saying. Now, in all seriousness, not to be funny, not to be disrespectful, let me tell you the reason why I would be an amazing gay partner. The level of communication between two men is so high, I might actually get an answer. There might be clarity and understanding. I might hear a yes. I might hear a no. Do you know how many relationships I have been in where I still don't know the outcome to certain conversations? Very simple yes or no questions. That's what I would do. Something as simple as, baby, you hungry?
Well, I haven't eaten yet, so I probably should eat something, but I'm not feeling it right now. But if I don't eat right now, you know how I'm gonna get later. So I guess it's probably a good idea if I start eating right now. But it really depends on the options. What do you think? Ah!
What about this one? Baby, where would you like to eat? You hear all the guys? Yeah. Finally! I'm not alone! Everybody's pointing at somebody right now. Guys, am I right? This has to be, you would think that this is the safest question in the world to ask, but it's not.
Well, just pick something. You know me, I'm go with the flow. Whatever you decide is okay with me. You know me already, just pick something.
All right, we're going to Burger King.
I don't like Burger King.
Why do we gotta go to Burger King? Burger King gives me chorro. Chorro is Mexican diarrhea. How about this one? How do you feel? Really? Really? You want to know how I feel? Well, you know, maybe if you'd pay attention from time to time, you might know how I feel. You might not need to have to ask me such a question because you would already know exactly how I feel. The amount of time and energy I've exhausted to let you know how I feel, and you have the nerve to ask me, how do you feel? Now imagine the exact same conversation between me and Mr. Lexus. Do you know how efficient that conversation would be? Hey, bro, you hungry? Thought you'd never ask. What do you want to eat? Whatever you want to eat. We're going to Burger King. I love Whoppers.
Me too.
We go to Burger King and we tear it up. We get back home and I ask him, hey, How do you feel? Horny. Me too. How do you want to do this? Heads or tails? It would be efficient.
I'm a dork too. I don't know how to talk to women. And this guy always comes, hello. Girls go crazy. And ladies, I'm gonna tell you right now, if a pretty man is your thing, if a gorgeous GQ guy is what you want, then by all means, go for it. But I'm gonna let you know right now, in the long run, a pretty man is gonna do nothing but lie to you, cheat on you, and break your heart. That's why, ladies, you need to start giving guys like me a chance. That's right, because I'm going to tell you guys right now, the worst thing I'll ever do is have dinner without you. And everybody... Look at some of the girls. Everybody gives me advice too on the best way to meet that certain someone. You know, like my sister Emily, she always tells me the best way to meet someone is to go on the internet. She goes, go online, you'll meet someone. I'm like, I thought it'd be a good idea because my sister, she's cool people. She goes to school, she goes to church, she's nice. But I gotta tell you guys something, she's a freak. You know, you meet her in person, she's all sweet and innocent. Oh, hello, how are you? Nice to meet you. Bye. But you catch her online at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, man, she's like, I'm licking and sucking your toes. Ooh, do you like it? Now see, that's scary. It is, because I had no idea she was online. I was like, yeah, I like it. I was like, what's up? I see my sister the next day. She's like, I met someone. I said, me too. Check it out. I got some sandals. What's up? But you guys have to be careful. If you're going to meet people on the internet, be careful. Because you don't know what you're going to get. You don't. I went on a blind date with a girl who was half Sasquatch, half Chupacabra. Yes, some of the white people, Chupa what? It's like Bigfoot, only smaller. Like cousins, you know? You gotta be careful, because they'll throw these little mysterious words out there to kind of like, get you excited. Like this one girl, she described herself as bubbly, you know? And I hear bubbly, and I was thinking, oh my God, wow, really? Shut up, wow, really? Shut up! Man, and instead what I got was... I'm standing there. You have to be careful. And I said, you know what? Okay, maybe it's my bad luck. Couldn't possibly happen to me 3 times, right? So I gave it another shot. I went on another blind date with a girl who said she was a sexy Latina. I was excited. What's up? I get to her house, you guys. She was not Latina. Oh, no. She was black. Now, I didn't have a problem with her being black, but she specifically wrote out, I'm Latina. So I called her on it, right? I said, hey, girl, before we go any further, didn't you say that you were Latina? You know what she told me? She got mad. She was like, boo, I am Latina. Shoot, that's my name. All right then. Well, let's go.
Anyways, back to my son's friends. So my son has these 2 friends that come over the house all the time. One friend, his name is Ken, works a lot with computers. The other friend, his name is Fabian. He wants to be a police officer. Both of these kids are really, really good. Now, I keep calling everyone kids, even though they're all 18. But to me, they're kids. I'm almost 40. I'm like, Like some of the conversations that we have are very adult-like. And the other conversations, I'm like, what am I doing with my life? For example, at home when I'm hanging out, I usually just wear, Very similar to now, except the Hawaiian shirt. I usually wear like a t-shirt that has like either Star Wars or Marvel Comics or Transformers on it or cartoons. You know, I like wearing stuff like that around the house. One day, I'm wearing a t-shirt that has the Avengers on the front. And I walk into the living room, and my son's friend Fabian sees me wearing this shirt. And so he starts pointing. And I'm like, what's up, dude? He goes, weak. Excuse me? Weak. And then he says, DC's better. What did you say? DC's better. I'm like, DC's okay. You know, Obama lives there. They pass laws. They got hotels, historic museums. It's not even a real state. I don't know why you're getting cray-cray. He goes, nah, boo, DC Comics. And I'm like, hey, man, I'm almost 40. I don't care. It's just a really cool shirt. I like it. It fits. No big deal. That's because they are. I go, you need to relax. They're the best. I go, you need to chill. And in my head, I'm like, why am I having this conversation? I have better things to do with my time, like trying to get my son on an elephant. But no. The kid in me's like, why are they the best? And then he points at the shirt again. Iron Man sucks. Batman's #1. I go, why? Because he is. I go, that's not an argument. First of all, Batman's not the best superhero. I hate to break it to you. He's not. I can hear people already getting ready to boo. They're like, oh, no, Fluffy, don't go there. Don't go there, Fluffy. Don't do it. Yes, I'm going to do this. Watch this. Batman's not the best superhero. Batman is the creepiest superhero. Batman is the creepiest superhero that has ever lived. He even sounds creepy. I'm Batman. I'm Batman. You don't recognize that voice? Want some candy? Help me find my puppy. Hello, he only comes out at night. His face is always covered up. He's always waiting in alleys. And who does he talk to? A guy named Joker, a guy named Riddler. His name is Batman. Joker, Riddler, Batman. Joker, Riddler, Batman. Those are Mexican gang member names. Can you imagine if that was Batman's real identity at night? I'm Batman. During the day? No, chingue su madre, soy Batman, loco. Todo el pinche día aquí trabajando y luego le parta la madre Joker. I'm Batman. I said, all right, Fabian, Mr. Batman's the best. Based on my t-shirt says Marvel Comics. I said, I see Thor, I see Captain America, I see Iron Man. Who are some of the superheroes that DC Comics has that makes them better than Marvel? Go. Batman, you said that. Superman, that's a good one. Wonder Woman, okay. Green Lantern, whoa. I said, I know the other superheroes, but Green Lantern? What's his power? He wears a ring, and the ring gives him power. I said, that's a fantasy. I don't know any man who wears a ring who has power. And if you're not clapping right now, my point exactly. You can't clap, can you? You can't. You know why you can't clap? Because you're sitting next to kryptonite. He's not even clapping. He's like, no, me pega Wonder Woman. No. Listen, you guys, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I feel just a pinch like a superhero in the sense that I'm able to walk out in front of large groups of people, change people's moods, make people smile, make people laugh, make people feel a little bit better. By that same token, like any superhero, I have my weaknesses too. You know, I come out here and I make you happy, and then I go home and I piss off one person. Because she don't want to hear about this. She doesn't want to hear about you guys. I can't go home and brag. Baby, it was crazy in Chicago. That's nice. Take out the trash. But they were clapping and chanting my name. Oh, is that going to help? Okay. Take out the trash. Take out the trash. Take out the trash. Take out the trash. But they told me they love me. guys have any idea how hard it's gonna be to go home and take out the trash now? Thank you. Oh my God, this is awesome. I hear some of you too. You guys okay over here? That's a big compliment, by the way. Anytime I hear people in the arena and they're freaking, that lets me know I'm making you laugh so much, your own body is rejecting the activity that you're participating in. Your own lungs are telling you, this is not good for you. You need to leave, but you're stubborn. You're like, no, the ticket was expensive. That's usually from guys. From women, it's a little bit different. Anytime I hear women laughing so much that they begin to snort. You're already laughing. That tells me I'm making you laugh so much, I'm causing you to inhale and exhale at the same time, forcing you to make that. And if I hear a woman snort more than 2 times, that tells me I made you pee just a little. I love that, bro. You were pointing out the whole time, and she's like, you asshole. Thanks for having my back. Another thing that I now consider a compliment is that from time to time, I have people who are experiencing their first ever comedy event, and they're not accustomed to laughing for long periods of time. And they get so excited and so involved with the show that they forget. They forget to do a very basic thing called breathing. You'd be amazed how many times I've seen this in the front row. Just and they pass the hell out. The messed up part is only I can see what's happening. And they're usually like, you know,
Fluffy, do something.
I'm like,
Do something. He woke up. Thank you.
I've been starstruck many, many times. As a matter of fact, this past year, I got to meet one of my childhood heroes. I got to meet Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now, some of you are clapping, some of you are like, wait. Well, here's the thing. I didn't love him as a politician, and I was too young to know him as a bodybuilder. All I knew is the movie Terminator was my favorite movie, and he was the Terminator. So, here's the story. I'm in LA at this red carpet event for some movie that I still haven't seen. I'm standing there with my publicist, okay? I'm standing there with my publicist, and she's explaining to me how the red carpet works.
Listen, Gabriel, this is what's gonna happen. You're gonna go down the red carpet, and then the paparazzi's gonna start taking photos of you, and then someone's gonna ask you some questions. It's a lot of fun. Then we'll go inside, and then we'll go to the after party. It's gonna be great. As she's telling me this, I'm looking around, and I look over and I notice, I see him. I see Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I freak out. Relax. You've never met Arnie?
I said, no, I've never met Arnie.
I work with him all the time. He's really nice. Would you like me to introduce you?
I'm like,
Yes.
she takes me by the hand, and she walks me directly to Arnold. I'm freaking out so bad, I look like a big-ass toddler. We get over to Arnold Schwarzenegger's area, and he's Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's already got a big group of people around him waiting to take a photo. So I'm just patiently waiting. As I'm watching him, you guys, I gotta tell you right now, no one on this planet is better at meeting people than Arnold Schwarzenegger. He is the greatest people meter I've ever witnessed. And the reason I say this is because when you meet him, he's very engaging. He grabs your hand, he pulls you in, he looks at you in the eyes, and he turns it on. When you meet Arnold, you get exactly what you think you're gonna get. It's awesome to watch. You know? How are you? So nice to meet you. You're so strong. You put my hand. Ay, look at you. This is incredible. Got these lights and this red carpet. This is incredible. Excuse me. How are you? Ay, you're so strong. You put my hand. This is incredible. Look at you. People are walking away from him. looking at their hand. They're looking at their hand, you guys. 10 minutes, I'm watching Arnold Schwarzenegger light people up. And then I noticed something else. I noticed that Arnold has a handler, a guy who stands right behind him. And it's this guy's job to basically reset Arnold for the next person he's about to meet. Arnold Schwarzenegger will never cut off a conversation with the fan. The guy behind him listens in on the conversation, and he determines when enough is enough, and then he signals Arnold to cut it off and move on. Here's the signal. He grabs the back of Arnold's arm right there, 2 times. 1, 2. That lets Arnold know, cut it off, time to move on. Always to the left. Awesome to watch. This is incredible what these lights and these special effects is going on here. Excuse me, how are you? Nice to meet you. You're so strong. Hey! I'm like, oh. So I yell out to the handler, hey! And the handler turns around. Hit him! I want to meet him. Hit him! And he starts laughing because now he sees that I see how the Terminator is really working. So he gives me one of these. Next thing you know, he is lighting Arnold up. He is hitting Arnold so fast, Arnold can barely keep up. Excuse me, pardon me, excuse me, hello, how are you? Excuse me, pardon me, high five, high five, high five, high five, high five, pardon me, excuse me, hello, how are you? Very good. Pound, 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 pound. He's coming down the line, coming down the line, coming down the line, and I'm just waiting. And I stick my hand out and he grabbed it. How are you, son? I recognize you. I know who you are. You're the comedian who does the joke about the Indian man trying to rob a bank, but he cannot rob the bank because they are making fun of him. And in my head, I'm like, he knows me! Outside, I'm like, yeah, that's me. You are hysterical. Give me your contact information. You are the funniest person. Excuse me. How are you? Nice to meet you. You're so strong. Meeting Arnold is like a really good roller coaster. You want to go to the end and meet him one more time. You know what I'm saying? I am super excited, you guys. Let me tell you, this is our 19th year coming to Chicago, okay? 19 years. The first time I came here, I got a chance to meet some people, and they says, you know what, Gabriel, have you ever been here? Have you ever been to Chicago? Like, no, it's my first time. They said, well, you know, we'd like to take you out to eat if you're down. And I'm like, well, hello. I am very down. They took me to a restaurant called Portillo's. You heard of it? So we get there, and it was very, very good. The hot dogs were delicious. I had a chicken chop salad. It was amazing. Had a beef dip, really, really good. But it wasn't until the meal was almost over that these new friends of mine said, we'd like for you to try something you might not have ever had before. And I'm like, that's not likely. I said, well, what is it you want me to try? And they said, well, they sell a thing here at Portillo's called a chocolate cake shake. I said, you had me at chocolate. They said, well, you got to go up to the special window and you got to order it from the lady. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I get up and I walk over to the lady and she's like, can I help you? I said, yes, my friends are telling me that I need to try this thing called a chocolate cake shake. Okay, what size would you like? How good is it? You want a large. All right, can I please have a large chocolate cake shake? No problem. There I pay. And she turns around. She turns around and she walks over to this little refrigerator that's on the counter. And she opens it up and she pulls out a piece of chocolate cake. And I'm thinking to myself, she must misunderstood what I said. I didn't ask for a piece of chocolate cake. I asked for a chocolate cake shake. She must have heard what I was thinking because she's walking by and she's like, it's gonna happen. She walks over to the blender, she takes the freaking lid off, and she just looks at me and does this. And I was like, no. And she's like, oh yeah. She She pours it and she hands me this like 44-ounce chocolate shake, which is way more than anybody should be drinking. The straw was so thick you could almost fit your thumb in it, okay? So I grab the shake and I begin to attempt to drink it. So I'm just, and I can see the shake coming out. And it hit, and then all of a sudden, woo! I look forward to problems. I like problems because if there's problems, Frankie and I can work on it together to find a solution, right? And I see that as a great form of bonding. Now, don't get me wrong, you guys. Sometimes it's expensive. Yeah, you're laughing, let me tell you. Like one time they took his iPhone from school and he comes home and he's all devastated, right? He's like, Dad, I gotta talk to you. I'm like, what? Tell me what? They stole my phone. I'm like, that's why you're talking. And I started laughing. He goes, it's not funny. I go, you have no idea how funny it is. I go, so what happened, Frankie? So they broke into my locker at school and they took my iPhone, they took my friend's iPhone, and if we go to the school right now, we can fill out a report. We know exactly who did it. Can we go to the school right now? I go, listen, Frankie, I'd love to, but I'm really, really tired. I just got off a flight, and I guess, I'm really, really tired. I promise you tomorrow morning I'll take you early, I'll help you fill out the report, and we'll turn it in. Can we go right now? I go, Frankie, seriously, please, tomorrow. I need my phone. I go, listen, Frankie, you can handle one day without your phone. He's not getting his way. So he turns around and he yells at the ground and he goes, they took my phone! I looked at him, I said, hey, you took my freedom. You don't hear me screaming. I just accept it and process it and we move on, that's it. So then he asked, what's gonna happen? I go, well, I'm gonna go upstairs, take a shower and probably go to bed. No, what's gonna happen if I don't get my phone back? I go, that's a good question, Frankie, I don't know. You're not gonna get me a new one? No, dude, I already got you a phone. It was your responsibility to take care of that phone. It's not fair. I go, life's not fair, Frankie, okay? But things happen. You should get me a phone. Dude, seriously? And then he looks at me and he says, and this kind of messed with me, he goes, you should get me a phone. It's nothing for you to get me a new phone. It's nothing for you to get me a new phone. Bay Area, my son thinks that what I do is easy. He thinks it's easy because all he sees when he attends 1 or 2 shows per year is that I walk out on stage, you guys start chanting, and then cool shit magically appears in his room. He doesn't realize that this is actually a job and there's sacrifice that comes along with it. So I told him, I said, listen, Frankie, how about this? How about you explain to me why I should get you a new phone? And if it makes sense, I'll do it right now. Go. I need one. I said, no, Frankie, you're a teenager. You don't need a phone. A cell phone for a teenager isn't a necessity. It's a luxury, okay? It's not a necessity. It's a luxury. He says, what if there's an emergency? I go, like what? Someone taking your phone? What did you do today when they took your phone? I went to the cafeteria and I talked to my friend Angel and he let me use his phone and I called my mom and I go, and guess what? If that doesn't work, you can go to the office and let them know there's a family emergency. Please contact my mom or my dad. Next, what if you need to get a hold of me? I know what school you go to. What about when I'm walking home? I know the route that you take. And then he pulled this one out, one of the greatest lines ever. You know what? You talk a lot about me on TV. People know who I am now. What if someone tries to kidnap me? I said, you weigh 225. Good luck. They are not kidnapping your ass without an iPhone and a box of Oreos. That's the only way that's gonna happen. I said, Frankie, do you realize how lucky you are? You had a phone. I didn't have a phone in school. Your mom didn't have a phone in school. If we needed to make a phone call, we had to carry change or we had to call collect. What's that? Oh my God. Trying to explain the concept of a collect call to my kid is like trying to explain rocket science. He'll never have to deal with it. He'll never know what it's like to be out late somewhere and have to use a phone. First of all, to find a payphone,
If you see a payphone now, you look at it like, oh wow, they forgot to take it down. Get your camera, take a picture, because that's gone. Take a picture. He'll never know about staying out late at night and having to use one of those nasty phones and taking off that receiver. You know, the nasty one that has gum and gonorrhea all over it, right? And you got to keep it far away from your face so you don't get infected. And then you make that phone call. You know that freaking, when you make a collect call back in the day, it was expensive. He's not going to have to do that now. Back in the day, if you made a collect call, it was a mission. It was a mission and it was expensive. If you called my mom collect, it better have been life or death. Or that's what it was going to be. You call my mom back in the day, shoot, we were on welfare and Section 8. Every penny counted. You call her up, hello, and then she get the presentation. AT&T. Do you accept a collect call from caller? At the tone, say only your name. You had to get creative. Mom, it's me, pick me up at 7-Eleven, I love you, bye. Do you accept the charges? Hell no, I'm on my way, mijo. So my son has these two friends that come over the house all the time. One friend, his name is Ken, works a lot with computers. The other friend, his name is Fabian. He wants to be a police officer. Both of these kids are really, really good. Now, I keep calling everyone kids, even though they're all 18. But to me, they're kids. I'm almost 40. I'm like, you know. Like some of the conversations that we have are very adult-like. And the other conversations, I'm like, what am I doing with my life? For example, at home, when I'm hanging out, I usually just wear, you know, very similar to now, except the Hawaiian shirt. I usually wear like a t-shirt that has like either Star Wars or Marvel Comics or Transformers on it or cartoons. You know, I like wearing stuff like that around the house. One day, I'm wearing a t-shirt that has the Avengers on the front. And I walk into the living room, and my son's friend Fabian sees me wearing this shirt. And so he starts pointing. And I'm like, what's up, dude? He goes, weak. Excuse me? Weak. And then he says, DC's better. What did you say? DC's better. I'm like, DC's okay. You know, Obama lives there. They pass laws. They got hotels, historic museums. It's not even a real state. I don't know why you're getting cray-cray. He goes, nah, fool, DC Comics. And I'm like, hey, man, I'm almost 40. I don't care. It's just a really cool shirt. I like it. It fits. No big deal. That's because they are. I go, you need to relax. They're the best. I go, you need to chill. And in my head, I'm like, why am I having this conversation? I have better things to do with my time, like trying to get my son on an elephant. But no. The kid in me's like, why are they the best? And then he points at the shirt again. Iron Man sucks. Batman's #1. I go, why? Because he is. I go, that's not an argument. First of all, Batman's not the best superhero. I hate to break it to you. He's not. I can hear people already getting ready to boo. They're like, oh, no, Fluffy, don't go there. Don't go there, Fluffy. Don't do it. Yes, I'm going to do this. Watch this. Batman's not the best superhero. Batman is the creepiest superhero. Batman is the creepiest superhero that has ever lived. He even sounds creepy. I'm Batman. I'm Batman. You don't recognize that voice? Want some candy? Help me find my puppy. Hello, he only comes out at night. His face is always covered up. He's always waiting in alleys. And who does he talk to? A guy named Joker, a guy named Riddler. His name is Batman. Joker, Riddler, Batman. Joker, Riddler, Batman. Those are Mexican gang member names. Can you imagine if that was Batman's real identity at night? I'm Batman. During the day? No, chingue su madre, soy Batman, loco. Todo el pinche día aquí trabajando y luego le parto la madre Joker. I'm Batman. I said, all right, Fabian, Mr. Batman's the best. Based on my t-shirt says Marvel Comics. I said, I see Thor, I see Captain America, I see Iron Man. Who are some of the superheroes that DC Comics has that makes them better than Marvel? Go. Batman, you said that. Superman, that's a good one. Wonder Woman, okay. Green Lantern, whoa. I said, I know the other superheroes, but Green Lantern? What's his power? He wears a ring, and the ring gives him power. I said, that's a fantasy. I don't know any man who wears a ring who has power.
And if you're not clapping right now, my point exactly. You can't clap, can you? You can't. You know why you can't clap? Because you're sitting next to kryptonite. He's not even clapping. He's like, no, 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 no. No, no, me pega Wonder Woman. No, no. No.
I have a bus driver named Dave who has never received any credit, and he's been working for me for almost 10 years now. This man has successfully gotten me to every single comedy show on time without fail. If I had to describe him to you, okay? Dave looks like the word America. Not America, America. He's about 6 feet tall, he's white, he has a gray beard, and he wears a trucker hat. And he's gotta be one of the most hardworking people I have ever met. Now, when I say hardworking, hey, I'm on the road 46 weeks out of the year, so I know. Difference is, I fly home every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Dave stays on that bus and he gets it to the next city where we meet him. He works anniversaries, holidays, special moments. Christmas time, I was with my family. Dave was driving that bus on the East Coast. New Year's, I was with my family. Dave was on the East Coast driving that bus. One of the hardest working people I've ever met. I just want to give him a shout out. In addition to being hardworking, he's very honest. Now, when I say honest, I don't mean, oh, he does his taxes right. I mean painfully honest, no filter honest. He talks the way people used to. He does not have time to mince words. He just calls it like he sees it. Before me, he used to work with a man by the name of Kenny G. Grammy Award winner, amazing, amazing music. One day, Kenny G was on his tour bus that Dave was driving, and I guess the two of them had a little discussion, and Kenny G used some words that Dave would have rather him not have used, and instead of getting into it with him, this is what Dave does. Kicked Kenny G off of his own bus. Because he would rather lose his job than lose his self-respect. And that's the man I work with. He's a bad dude. You guys are clapping, but you should have seen the interview. Oh man, it was a good one. He looks at me and he says, hey, let's get one thing straight. I don't give a who you are. You treat me right, I'll treat you right. You pay me on time, you'll live. Not to mention the fact that he keeps that tour bus squeaky clean. And he takes a lot of pride in that as well. One night, I was drinking on the bus, and I go to put my cup down, and I missed the table, and the cup hit the floor. I didn't get up right away to get the cup, because I figured I'm gonna get up in a couple minutes and make myself another drink. I'll pick up the cup then. Dave sees the cup on the floor, and then he looks at me and says, hey, I ain't your mama, pick that shit up. I get to the back of the bus and I'm like, wait a minute, I pay him. Hey, Dave, shut up. Yeah, I'll be in the back in my room. Thank you. Drive safe. And people tell me, you work with a man who talks that way to you? Why? Let me tell you why. Because he's honest. With Dave, you know exactly what you get. Nowadays, it is so hard for me to tell who's being genuine and who has an agenda. And with him, you know exactly where you stand. If he likes you, he loves you. And if not, you're on the curb with Kenny G. That being said,
I have a story to share. About 1.5 years ago, maybe longer, we're on the bus and we're heading down the highway. Just so you have kind of an understanding of the bus layout, let's say this is the front. Here's Dave, the driver, empty seat, and then a sliding door that goes in between him and the rest of the tour bus. My buddy Alfred and I are in the living room portion and we're watching TV. We're watching the news. And on the news, there's this person who is running for some type of office. No particular office. And I guess their big plan is to erect a structure between two bodies of land. Somewhere. And I guess they want one side of the structure to finance the entire project. Well, my buddy Alfred and I, we have a lot of family that works in construction, and we know a bad job when we see one. So we started to voice our opinion out loud about how we felt about this person and what they wanted to do. We're being very loud. So loud, Dave can hear us. And then we hear Dave. America. I yell out to Dave. I said, "Be quiet, Dave. This isn't about you." He taps a button on the dashboard that activates the sliding door. And when the door's about that far from closing, he yells out, "I'm building a wall." I couldn't even get upset because I was too much in shock over the fact that that came out of someone 4 feet away from me. My buddy Alfred and I, we look like chickens. We're like, my cell phone goes off. I take out my phone and there's a text message from Dave. And I said, "That's right, he better say I'm sorry. He better say just kidding." I open up the text message and it says, "And you're paying for it." And people tell me, "You still work with him after that?" Yes, I do. I trust that man with my life every single night. I know where his heart's at. He can say whatever he wants. At the end of the day, he still has to drive around the king of the Mexicans. Anyways, back to my son's friends. So my son has these two friends that come over the house all the time. One friend, his name is Ken, works a lot with computers. The other friend, his name is Fabian. He wants to be a police officer. Both of these kids are really, really good. Now, I keep calling everyone kids, even though they're all 18. But to me, they're kids. I'm almost 40. I'm like, you know. Like some of the conversations that we have are very adult-like. And the other conversations, I'm like, what am I doing with my life? For example, at home when I'm hanging out, I usually just wear, very similar to now, except the Hawaiian shirt. I usually wear like a t-shirt that has like either Star Wars or Marvel Comics or Transformers on it or cartoons. I like wearing stuff like that around the house. One day, I'm wearing a t-shirt that has the Avengers on the front. And I walk into the living room and my son's friend Fabian sees me wearing this shirt. And so he starts pointing. And I'm like, "What's up, dude?" He goes, "Weak." Excuse me? Weak. And then he says, "DC's better." What did you say? "DC's better." I'm like, DC's okay. Obama lives there. They pass laws. They got hotels, historic museums. It's not even a real state. I don't know why you're getting cray-cray. He goes, "Nah, fool, DC Comics." And I'm like, "Hey, man, I'm almost 40. I don't care. It's just a really cool shirt. I like it. It fits. No big deal." "That's because they are." I go, "You need to relax. They're the best." I go, "You need to chill." And in my head, I'm like, why am I having this conversation? I have better things to do with my time, like trying to get my son on an elephant. But no. The kid in me's like, "Why are they the best?" And then he points at the shirt again. "Iron Man sucks. Batman's #1. I go, "Why?" Because he is. I go, that's not an argument. First of all, Batman's not the best superhero. I hate to break it to you. He's not. I can hear people already getting ready to boo. They're like, oh, no, Fluffy, don't go there. Don't go there, Fluffy. Don't do it. Yes, I'm going to do this. Watch this. Batman's not the best superhero. Batman is the creepiest superhero. Batman is the creepiest superhero that has ever lived. He even sounds creepy. I'm Batman. I'm Batman. You don't recognize that voice? Want some candy? Help me find my puppy. Hello, he only comes out at night. His face is always covered up. He's always waiting in alleys. And who does he talk to? A guy named Joker, a guy named Riddler. His name is Batman. Joker, Riddler, Batman. Joker, Riddler, Batman. Those are Mexican gang member names. Can you imagine if that was Batman's real identity at night? I'm Batman. During the day?
No, chingue su madre, soy Batman, loco. Todo el pinche día aquí trabajando y luego le parte la madre Joker.
I'm Batman. I said, all right, Fabian, Mr. Batman's the best. Based on my t-shirt says Marvel Comics. I said, I see Thor, I see Captain America, I see Iron Man. Who are some of the superheroes that DC Comics has that makes them better than Marvel? Go. Batman, you said that. Superman, that's a good one. Wonder Woman, okay. Green Lantern, whoa. I said, I know the other superheroes, but Green Lantern? What's his power? He wears a ring, and the ring gives him power. I said, that's a fantasy. I don't know any man who wears a ring who has power. And if you're not clapping right now, my point exactly. You can't clap, can you? You can't. You know why you can't clap? Because you're sitting next to kryptonite. He's not even clapping. He's like, no, me pega Wonder Woman. No. I probably bragged about the fact that I snuck backstage at a Chris Rock concert for a good 6 months. I felt like I pulled off a good one. Like, man, I just snuck backstage. It was so easy. And I was always like, yeah, it was like my cool little bragging combo. And karma showed up one day. It happened to me. I had someone who made it all the way to the back. And not only did they make it to the back, they made it inside my dressing room. Oh, they had to one-up me. And I'll tell you what happened. Someone paid money to someone else who was not me to get inside my dressing room. Okay? I say someone else because if they would have paid me, you'd never hear the story. All right? But I'm an honest hoe. So, and I feel like I was taken advantage of in this situation, and so I'm spreading the word here about what happened. Basically, the man, later on, I come to find out, is still a very wealthy businessman in Pennsylvania. And big fan of mine. He paid someone to wind up in my dressing room. Now, here's the thing. I was in the shower. It was after a show. And I come out of the shower, and there's the bathroom portion, and then there's the room portion. And so I open up the door, and I'm in a towel. And I walk into the room, and I see a man in the room. But here's the thing. He's wearing a really nice suit. Okay? The suit gave him credibility because I automatically assumed he was one of the general managers of the building. He might have been a concert promoter. Maybe he works at the radio station. He looked official. And so when I'm walking out and I saw him, I was like, oh, hey, I'll be out in a second. The conversation that I had with him was probably the most awkward conversation I have ever had with any fan in my 20 plus years as a comedian. He didn't let me walk away. He spoke. He looked at me and he said, "Listen, I am not here to waste any of your time. I am here to take care of you." What do you mean? I am prepared to take care of you. I will give you a new Lexus and an allowance that's more than what you make as a comedian. Leave with me. I was never more disgusted and upset over the fact that I was not gay. Because finally, somebody wants to take care of me. You know how many people I take care of? No one's ever offered me a Lexus, and they should. I felt horrible saying no to this guy. I really did, because that was an amazing offer. I still think about it. I still have the number. I'm going to say something, and I don't know how this is going to go over, but I'm going to say it because my foot's already halfway in. I would be an amazing gay partner. I would. Up until that one part. But even then, have you ever driven a Lexus? Those are nice. Hey, sometimes you got to take one for your own team. You know what I'm saying? Snoop walks over to me, and he's so cool, you guys. He's so cool. He walks over to me, and he grabs my hand. He's really strong. He pulls me in, and he says, "Yo, what it do, baby boo? How you feel?" "Thank you for having me." "Yeah." "Can I sit down?" "For sure." I sit down, I look over, I see my son. My son's like... The difference between Snoop's show versus any other talk show I've ever done is that usually there's a person, like a producer or a director, who comes to you and gives you information, like how the show begins, topics you're gonna cover, how you go to commercial, how you come back from commercial. I've spoken to no one. Snoop just starts talking, and at some point they hit record. I'm waiting for action or a buzzer and something. Snoop just starts talking to me. "Yo, what up, Big Fluff?" "Big Fluff? Oh, that's hey." "Yo, you like music?" "Snoop, I love music. I love your music." "Yeah, that's what's up." He opens up a laptop computer, and then he hits play. And the next thing I know, we are listening to hardcore Mexican banda music. I mean hardcore. And you can hear gunshots in the song. And then a cow. And the whole time Snoop is like, I love it when he go moo. I feel like he's messing with me because I'm Mexican, right? So I called him out. I said, Snoop, do you understand what you're listening to? And he said this, and it scared me. He said, gangster recognize gangster. The reason why it scared me was because he was telling the truth. We were listening to actual Mexican cartel songs that don't play on the radio. And the fact that he knew that, the fact that his level of street knowledge in another language was that on point, I said, I gotta shut the hell up. Don't speak unless spoken to, that's the code. Next thing I know, Snoop reaches under the desk and he pulls out the biggest blunt I have ever seen. Oh, this sucker was huge. As soon as he pulled out that freaking blunt, I got excited because I wanted to grab my cell phone, okay? I wanted to grab my cell phone so that I could take a selfie of Snoop in the background being Snoop. So while I'm fumbling, trying to get my phone, Snoop starts talking to me again. Yo, Big Fluff. Yeah, what? Hit that while I hit this. The second I went like that, all of the cameras in the room, red light, red light, red light, red light, red light. My publicist is like, no! My son is like, yeah! And now I'm being faced with a serious situation because, you know, I've talked about friends participating in doing stuff like this, but I've never openly talked about myself, you know. And now I realize that from this moment forward, people are gonna know what happened here with Snoop. So I started trying to find ways to justify it to myself. You know, if you're gonna do something like this on camera, you want it to be with Snoop. You want it to be with Snoop, Cheech and Chong, or Willie Nelson. Next thing I know, the manager hands me a lighter, I light it, and I take a big hit. So listen, I'm doing my best to hold in all this smoke because I don't want to look like a punk in front of Snoop Dogg. I'm trying, I'm fighting, bro. It's hard, you know. The whole time Snoop is like, hell yeah. That's what I'm saying. Fluffy going puffy today. I do not remember the rest of the interview. Hey, what's up, you guys? My name is Gabriel Iglesias. I'm excited about this new comedy special I have coming out. And since I'm going back on tour, I need to get myself in better shape. So I need someone who could focus on my day-to-day and all the things that are important to me while on tour. So I found Creeper.
So I'm on the Craigslist apps or whatever, and lo and behold, I got a mensaje, homie, that was like, hey, I need a personal trainer to focus on what I do. You know, not only works your stage presence right there, but it also works the triceratops right here, homie. So you pick up the mic, and I was like, here's my number. The fool called me. He's like, hey, it's Gabriel Iglesias. I'm like, okay, homie, and I'm Tom Selleck, you know. And he's like, nah, serio, homie, it's Fluffy. Use the left hand to point to you know, different gente or hyenas in the audience, you know. Hey! Hey! Okay, now you're walking into the arena. This way, you clear that path and you're representing. Oh, hey, sorry, homie. Hey, 'cause I don't, you know. Oh, I don't want you to hurt yourself on me because I don't have insurance like that. It's a trip, eh? I never done too many celebrities. I did some vatos that were in Color Me Bad. Remember that group? And I was like, dang, I was honored to do that, but it was kind of like whatever at the same time. Hey, picky boo, homie, paparazzi. Hey, let me get one. Oh, dang, good job, eh? Hey, so on your tour, homie, you know, you're in a lot of green rooms. And sometimes the comida in the green rooms is kind of, so you really have to build up your core strength so you can push all that masa out, you know, to keep it moving, homie. Okay? All right. Now you feel the relief, get back up, okay? He's got a firme facility and he gave me gas, eh? Gas is expensive right now. He's paying me in gas, so that's pretty firme right there. So that's like just the same as like money, pretty much. Probably more than money. And this one, if you could sign to my tia Chencha, homie.
Chencha.
Yeah, she's not alive anymore, but she'll still appreciate it.
I feel stretched. I feel sore. I feel like I did a lot of things that are going to help me on tour.
Hey, have my baby.
No.
Yeah, hey, get me pregnant right now.
No. Just want to say thank you, Creeper. You're unconventional, but you know what you're up to, man.
Now add some extra weight right here.
Okay.
Oh, you feel that relief?
I feel it, bro.
Okay, now bring it back up.
Okay. Oh.
Hey, one for my parole officer, homie. That's what's up. And check this out, eh? He has a chiropractor on site, homie. He gave us some adjustments, and the chiropractor did a movida called a reach around. Not sexual reach around, but one that goes like that. It's like a real chiropractic professional term, eh? So he ended it like that, and it was like, oh, dang, congratulations. And so, yeah, we're feeling pretty good right now. That's what's up.
I go home to find out that someone broke into my house. Yeah, I'm like, are you kidding me? That's why I survived to see this shit. The only reason why you haven't heard about it until now is because the detective who's working the case told me I'm not allowed to talk about it. In California. Yeah, if the guys that broke into my house are here tonight, bravo. Bravo, that's a flex and a half. No, they broke into my house, and of course the number one question is, what did they take from your house? And what they took from me, honestly, was my peace of mind. I didn't feel safe in that house after. But if you must know, I did everything to prevent a break-in. I had, first of all, a good neighborhood. I had an alarm. I had 2 camera systems. I had a fence that surrounded the property. I thought I was good. I got video footage of the entire robbery. In 4K. Oh, that shit is crisp. I saw the guys that broke in, but I could not identify them because they were wearing masks. All I can tell you about the 2 guys that broke into my house is that they were 20 years old. I know they were 20 because when they jumped the fence and hit the ground, no pain. If that would have been like a 35-year-old with a messed up sciatica, he'd have thought twice about that fence. So they jumped the fence, they went in the backyard, and they broke the window and got in through the kitchen. They trashed my house, okay? Every drawer open, every cabinet open, everything got pulled out onto the floor so they could sift. Couches were flipped over, cushions were thrown down, and they pulled every single frame off the wall. And I asked the detective, I said, hey, look, I understand the drawers, the cabinets, and even the couch thing, but what's the story with the frames on the wall? Why did they take everything off the wall, but they didn't take any of the frames? Some of that stuff was art. Mr. Iglesias, you have to understand something about these people that broke into your home. They were not looking for photos or art. They were actually looking for a safe.
I said, a safe? Yes, sir, a safe. A lot of times in these homes, people will put a hole in the wall, install a safe, and then they'll hang a frame over the safe to disguise that their valuables are in there. I said, a safe? Sir, yes, a safe.
But I just got this money. Did they check the mattress?
Well, I don't know.
Well, let's find out.
So we walk into the master bedroom. I grabbed the edge of the bed, right? And I picked it up and I was like, ah, stupid! It's all here! Oh my God, these guys had no idea they were robbing somebody more ghetto than them. So at the end of it, they only got a couple of little trinkets from the drawers. And that's pretty much it. They made a mess of the house. They didn't get any of the money. I'll tell you what they did get. They got my guns. Now, I have never been open about the fact that I am, in fact, a registered gun owner. Relax, Florida. I've never been open about it because, quite frankly, it's nobody's business. Okay? However, it does pertain to the story that I'm about to share with you. I am a recent gun owner. I became a gun owner in 2020. Okay? When we were in the middle of it. Every morning watching the news, we didn't know what was going to happen. And it started to feel irresponsible not preparing myself for a worst case situation. Every morning watching the news, it felt like we were headed towards the purge. Some of you are laughing, but think about this. The purge would have taken less time. Yeah, the purge. That's how they should have woke us up every morning, at least for entertainment purposes. I'd like to thank you for your participation in the pandemic. The local time is 7:45 a.m. Fear is why I decided to buy a gun. I was afraid, and I got no problem saying that. I was scared. We didn't know what was going to happen. It's only for protection. I don't hunt. I don't want to hunt. I don't need to hunt. I know where there's 3 Chick-fil-A's. I'm good. I don't go out on the weekends, pull! There's no crank, 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 crank. I still own a Nintendo. I don't need that shit. Fear is the only reason why I decided to buy a gun. So next thing you know, I wound up at this sporting goods store right by my house. I walk in there, and this place is packed full of people that normally would not have been open to the idea of owning a gun. But they felt like me. They were scared. And rightfully so. I kept hearing the same conversation over and over and over. I kept hearing this. I would rather have a gun and not need it than need it and not have it. And I don't care where you're from. That makes a lot of sense. And I was not about to let politics interfere with my personal safety. Enjoyed myself, you guys. I have a lot of fun. I made the reference to the police officers, and sometimes there's problems everywhere. Cops used to mess with me a lot. That's why I love getting recognized now. Now they're just like, oh, it's you. I'm like, that wasn't the case 6 years ago. I did a theater show just like this one in the city of San Antonio. As soon as the show was over, San Antonio, ¿qué pasó? As soon as the show was over, you know, I'm hanging out in the lobby, taking pictures and stuff, and then we go outside, and I get stopped in front of the theater, in front of my own poster. How sad is that, you know, freaking, what are you doing? Standing. You have any ID? Keep going. All right. Now, every chance I get to have fun with them, I will. Last time I got stopped, the cop came to the car all mean. You know why I stopped you? I looked at him with a straight face and I said, 'cause I'm black. Hell yeah, man. What's up, player? He turned the flashlight on, you guys. Get the hell out of here, stupid. Yay, yay.
But every now and then I go out and I wanna meet people. I wanna see cool things. And for example, comedy. I'm a huge fan of comedy, not just performing it, but I love going to shows. I go to a comedy show every now and then alone. Now, I don't know if that sounds weird to you guys, but for me to do anything nowadays by myself, it's my crew, all the people that work for me, they freak out when I go places because they're always concerned for my safety. You know, what if someone tries to kidnap you? Well, they're gonna earn it. I got into a fight with some of my team members and I said, you know what, I'm going out. I bought myself a ticket and I went to go watch Chris Rock one night in concert. Now, I says, you know what? Maybe I can make my way backstage and I don't know, if I get lucky, maybe I'll say hi to him. I've always wanted to meet him. So I go to the side of the stage and I run into security and I said, hey. He looked at me and said, Fluffy! And when he did that, I said, hey, listen, I forgot my keys. I'll be right back. And the guy's like, yeah, keep going. Get your keys, get your keys, get your keys. I'm like, oh my God, that shit worked. Just like that, I snuck backstage at a Chris Rock concert. Once I was behind the curtain, I was in my element. I knew where everything was. I knew where the food was. I knew where the dressing rooms were, where the bathrooms were. I'm walking around with a soda. People are coming up to me. You know, we didn't know you were gonna be here. I got a call last minute. Looking for my keys. I says, you know what? I got this far. I'm gonna push it. I wanna meet him. I've always wanted to meet Chris Rock. It was not hard. Once I was back there, I just had to go to the dressing rooms. All I had to do was read the name on the door. I'm standing there in front of the door and I'm hyperventilating, just. The door opens up and there's this man in there, this bodyguard who's just massive. I'm a big guy, but damn, dude was huge. As soon as he opened the door, just. Welcome to Jurassic. Big! Grandote! And I'm standing there and I'm like, hi. And he's like, can I help you? Yes, my name is Gabriel. I'm a comedian and I wanted to see if I could say hi to Chris Rock, if that's possible. You say you're a comedian?
Yes.
Well, then you understand Chris is going over his material right now. He really ain't trying to talk to nobody. So I'll tell you what, player, if you want to come by after the show, you're more than welcome to. But right now, it's not a good time. Chris Rock is a busy man. Can I wave?
Excuse me?
Can I wave?
What you mean?
Can I wave it, Chris? I don't have to come in. Can I wave? Chris Rock is in the room. He can hear the stupid conversation that's taking place. I know this because I can hear Chris Rock in the background. What's going on? Who's at the door? Move out the way.
Yo, Chris, I got this, man. I got this.
Move! All right. And the guy stands to the side, and now I'm looking at Chris Rock, and he recognized me, and it freaked me out. Oh, yeah, it freaked me out. He's like, ah, shit! Look who it is. Look who it is. It's the king of the Mexicans. Chris Rock called me the king of the Mexicans. For the rest of the show, everyone referred to me as El Chapo.
Like I said, no matter what you say, no matter what you do, someone's going to find a way to twist things and make it bad. I've already gotten an email over the fact that I did that joke about that nothing on this planet loves me more than my dogs versus my son. Someone already reached out and they're like, oh my God, how devastating for your son. I'm like, he knows. I love him very much. My son is going on 25 years now. He's 24 years old. Frankie is 24 years old. Yeah, thank you for clapping. He's still at the house. I did an interview recently, and someone was asking me questions about my son. They said, you know, Gabriel, you've always mentioned your son in your specials. Can we look forward to a new story coming out? And I said, not really a new story so much as, because my son is doing his own thing now. He's doing his own thing. He's got his own life, and that's awesome. I do, however, still have stories from the past that I never told. And he goes, well, do tell. I said, okay, my favorite story is actually probably the first one. In 2007, when I first got him, some of you know he's technically my stepson, but I've never liked saying stepson. He is my son. Yeah. He is my son or my aftermarket child. No gray area. Anyway, it's 2007, and for some reason, I'm home on Halloween. Now, here's the thing. As a comedian, I have signed up to perform 365 days a year. There is no sacred day for me. I work on Christmas Day. I work on New Year's Eve, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, birthdays, holidays, special occasions, no matter what. My mom told me, si hay trabajo, hay que trabajar. You got to work. Especially if you got a good job, you don't want no one to take it. So if you're going to go for it, give it everything. So the fact that I'm not working on Halloween is super rare. And so my son's mom is like, she's like, I think this is so cool that you're home today. Since this is Frankie's first year where it's just the three of us, how about this? How about tonight, you take him trick-or-treating and I'll stay home and give out candy. This way, it'll give the two of you an opportunity to get to know each other, have some conversations, have some laughs. What do you think? I said, baby, you know what? That's a great idea. I love it. I love it. Okay, I'm on it. Frankie, come on. We're going trick-or-treating. What about my mom? She's going to stay home. Yay. So we get in the car. And I take Frankie to that neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? That neighborhood that gives out the Costco candies? Yeah. So we park the car and we start going up the street. And I'm not wearing a costume. I'm there for him. So he's dressed up for your Halloween. I'm just me. So some of the doors we knocked on, the people freaked out. One guy was like, the Like, oh my God, I've never been referred to as the Fluffy. I didn't know what to say. It is I. One door we knocked on, they opened the door, they're like, oh my God, you're famous. I was like, ah. We go all the way up, we cross the street, we come all the way back. By the time we get to the car, the bucket is overflowing with candy, okay? So we get back to the house, and it hasn't even been an hour. We walk in, and Frankie's mom is pissed. She's like, the hell is this? I go, what? I thought I told you to take him trick-or-treating. I go, I did. Look, show the score. The whole point of you taking him trick-or-treating wasn't to get candy. The hell you say? What was the point? The point was for the two of you to spend time together, have some laughs, have some conversations, get to know one another. You're not going to do that in an hour. Can you please, for me, take him out one more time for at least an hour? Baby, I get it. Don't even worry about it. I got it. So I said, Frankie, come on. Dump out your bucket.
Round 2.
So we go outside, we get in the car. I don't want to go door to door again. So I said, I got an idea. I take Frankie to Walmart. We get to Walmart, and Frankie goes, what are we doing here? I got it, watch. We walk in. I said, grab a cart. Follow me. And I lead Frankie all the way to the candy section. Well, as soon as we get to the candy section, I stop the cart. And I got in Frankie's face, and I said, Frankie, you have exactly 30 seconds to grab as much candy as you can. Ready? Go! And he froze. I said, dude, clock's ticking. You better move. Oh, my God, oh, my God, oh, my God. So he grabs a bag, looks at it, throws it in the cart. Grabs a second bag, looks at it, throws it in the cart. Grabs a third bag, and on the third bag, time! And it was the first time I heard him go, shit! Because he knew he wasted that golden opportunity those first few seconds. So we get to the car, I rip open the 3 bags, I dump them out in his bucket, and I tell him, look, Frankie, when we get home, you cannot tell your mom that we went to Walmart. Why not? Because she's going to say that we cheated trick-or-treating. But it's better. I know it's better. So we get home, and of course now it's a different tone. She's like, there you are. Did you guys have a good time? We had a great time, baby. We had a good time, huh, Frankie? That's good. Frankie, give me your candy. Why, Mom? Because I need to go through your candy to make sure it's safe for you to eat. Why wouldn't it be safe? It all came from... Cállate, pendejo. Cállate. Cállate, cabrón. Cállate. He almost took down the empire, you know what I'm saying? So he hands over the bucket, and she grabs it and immediately dumps it out on the table right in front of us. She notices, you know. There's a lot of the same candy right here. A lot of the same candy. Can you explain why there's so much of the same candy in Frankie's bucket? I don't know what to tell you, baby. There's a lot of basic bitches in this neighborhood. You know, just kind of, I don't know. We can't go back to that other neighborhood because they got cameras and they're going to know us. And we don't want to be that person. Nobody wants to be that. So fast forward 1 year. It is now October 31st of 2008. And for some reason, I'm not booked on Halloween again. And so my girl's like, she swears up and down, oh, it's a sign. It's a sign. I'm like, it's a sign my agent is slacking. Shout out, Matt. I know you're here. Sorry about that joke. You're doing a great job. Thank you for this one. I know, but that year you dropped the ball. So, but anyway. And so Frankie's mom is like, I think that, you know what? Maybe, just maybe we can make this like a tradition. you know, this could be your guys' thing. The two of you go out trick-or-treating, and then I'll stay home and give out candy. This could be your thing. I go, you know what, baby? Sounds good to me. Frankie, come on, we're going trick-or-treating. What about my mom? She's going to stay home again. Yay. So we get outside, we get in the car. I lean over and I look at Frankie and I said, Frankie, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Walmart. We pull up to Walmart. We walk in. I said, Frankie, grab a cart. Follow me. And I lead him all the way to the candy section. As soon as we get to the candy section, I stop the cart and I get in his face. I said, Frankie, you have exactly 30 seconds to grab as much candy as you can. Ready? Go! Apparently, this motherfucker was training all year for this. As soon as I said, go, his arm, bam, and he starts gutting the shelf. He's ripping bags of candy into the cart. He overflowed the shopping cart in 10 seconds. I firmly believe that's the first day of my diabetes.